Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, which is Certified Business Analysis Professional. And today we'll talk about the Communicate BA information, which is the fourth activity in elicitation and the collaboration knowledge area. Before proceeding further, hope you are liking my videos, and pertaining to the knowledge area that I am talking about, in all of my videos you will find the related activity links somewhere here on top, or if you go in the description below, you will find all the connected activities of the current knowledge area in detail over there. So let's move ahead. Elicitation and the collaboration, and I know you are familiar with this table. Uh, the first activity, prepare for elicitation, and we are getting the elicitation activity plan, which is the input for the second activity, that is conduct elicitation, and we are getting elicitation result unconfirmed. Third activity, which is confirm elicitation result. Here the output of the second activity, which is elicitation result unconfirmed, is going into, and we are getting elicitation result confirmed. Then we have communicate business analysis info, and we'll talk about this task or activity today. And what inputs goes there is business analysis, any information, any business analysis information that you are juggling with, and the stakeholder engagement approach. And we get the output business analysis information, which is communicated. So what are the objectives? The objectives is, so why we do communication? If you tell something to someone, if that person does not understand what you said, the communication is incomplete. So make sure whatever you are telling, whatever you are communicating to the other person, that person understand that clearly. Also, communication is incomplete un, uh, until the other stakeholder didn't acknowledge, like, okay, he understand. Then only the communication is treated as completed. To ensure stakeholders have a shared understanding of the business analysis information, communicate appropriate or relevant information to the stakeholders in an appropriate format and at the appropriate time. So there is a saying like, doing right thing at the right time leads to right result. The same thing is applicable here. Communicating the appropriate information at the right time will give you a right result. If you delay communicating any information, and which the event is already happened, that doesn't make sense. So prior communication is very important. Communication is a bi-directional and iterative approach. It's, as I said, like, this is not like you are just talking alone. The communication seems to be treated as complete when the other person or the people who are listening to you is acknowledging that information, and you are listening to them as well, and then you are responding based on the comments or the feedback they are giving you. And it's an iterative approach. It's not like one time you have delivered everything and it's complete. No, because the communication is the points that get out of the first communication seems to be very relevant. It could be like you need a further dig deeper into that, do analyze something, and then come further with the new information or related information or detailed information. Then you again communicate the same topic with the previous stakeholders on a same topic. So that's an iterative approach. It involves determining the recipient's content. Now assume you are writing an email. So what's the important parameters? You have to put the subject of the email. You have to identify the recipients whom you want to send that email. You will find out the content or the body of that email, what information you want to communicate, and if there is any important information, you are highlighting that information. Also, if any form of attachment you want to put into that email, you are attaching that email, or any matrices, diagrams, data flows, or even if you want to put any invite for the further meetings, you are putting that invite prior informing them. So all sort of things you are doing it. So you're creating you're creating a complete package, right? So that when you are sending that information, the other stakeholders will able to understand that. So it involves determining the recipient's content, the purpose, the context, and expected outcomes. You are engaging stakeholders to ensure they understand the information and gain agreement. The method of delivering the information might be changed if the stakeholders are not receiving or understanding it. Obviously, if you have sent some information and the other stakeholder didn't understand, he either will say, "Oh, I didn't understand. Please, can you brief it again?" or let's have a meeting, or something. So method of delivering the information might be changed. Might be it's possible that the stakeholders don't understand by sending the emails or reading those emails. Rather, he's comfortable and understand things easily when you individually meet that person and do the communication. So you have to see the method of the communication at which the other stakeholder is comfortable with to understand things. So you have to do in that way. Multiple form of communication might be required for the same information. Form of communication might be there are some stakeholders who are comfortable with only the content that you are sending via email, but there are a few stakeholders who are comfortable in a data flow diagrams rather than the context heavy document or context heavy email. So there could be people who are you can understand easily via the matrices and the diagrams. So you have to find out that the stakeholders, the other stakeholder is comfortable with in his understanding, and accordingly you have to create that communication package and then you have to send. So now talks about the inputs. So tool guidelines and the tools is also treated as an inputs. So the business analysis approach, stakeholder information management approach, and the two important inputs here is business analysis information and stakeholder engagement approach. Business analysis information. I know like you are now familiar with business analysis. This is a any information that you are juggling with, whether these are matrices, diagrams, data flow, elicitation result, requirement documentation, product requirement documentation, specific design, solution designs. So whatever information you are juggling with, you are working with, you are sending across, every information is a business analysis information. So this information could be used as one of the input. Stakeholder engagement approach is the second input. General needs regarding communication or business analyst information. Now now you can remember like when we were going through the session for the stakeholder engagement approach, that's the second activity of the business analysis planning and the monitoring. Here we have talked about the communicating the BA information. Here we have also talked about the stakeholder communication, and there we have talked about the style of the communication. General needs regarding the communication of business analysis information, you get it from the stakeholder engagement approach. Then we have level of details, the business analysis approach. Now remember the BA approach. We talked about the predictive, adaptive, the hybrid approach. So there we have also talked about the time of the activities, the level of the detail, the formality, the frequency, and how communication could be affected by the numbers of the stakeholders and the geographic dispersion of the stakeholders. So that information we get it from here, and this is very important when we talk about the communicating the business information to stakeholders. Then we have the information management approach, how the business analysis information will be packaged and communicated to the stakeholders. So here, information management approach, it's something like related to the organization policies, organization templates, and the way the communication methods is being set up in that organization. There are a lot of information management system also put into place, which the stakeholders or the employees using to communicate that information. So that is also important when we are talking about the communicate business analysis info. Then finally, business analysis information treated as communicated only when the other stakeholder understand it, right? So BA information is considered communicated when the target stakeholders have understood its content and implications. Now, the two elements, so very easy. The first one, you are creating you are making a package of the information, business analysis information, and the second element that you are communicating that package to the stakeholders. The first one is preparing the communication package. Determine objectives and the format of the communication. So as I said, like when you're creating an email, then you are also following few things: recipients, who are the optionals, what information you are trying to communicate, what should be the subject of the info that email, any attachment or anything you want to highlight in the body of the email, and then any follow-up meetings or any other information to be attached. So this is a format, package. So here, whom you are going to send that information, what stakeholder will understand from that package, each stakeholder style of communication need to be considered, the content format of the package relevant for that stakeholders, important information obviously will be highlighting that, or any regulatory contractual constraints that need to confirm. So you are putting all those such information in a package, right? Possible form of packages. One is, when we are saying formal is something that is organization driven. You are using the organization templates or the formats that is laid down by the policies of the organization, then you are using those templates. Basically, these are standardized formats which is easy to use, which is long-term records of the information, and which organization always save those. Informal documentation is like you're creating a text, diagrams, matrices, and then just for the purpose or just for reference, and later on you are just trashing them because that's not part of the formal organization process. Presentation, that's a high level overview to understand goals, the functions, information to support decision making. And now I know you're familiar with, like, every manager asks for, okay, let's create a presentation and we have to deliver, we have to show the stats roadmap to the different stakeholders. Obviously, that's a part of the high level overview we are giving to the stakeholders. Now, the second element, communicate business analysis package. In the package that you have created in the first element, and now stakeholders are also given the opportunity to review the package. You are communicating that package, but if you remember, I said the communication is not treated as completed unless the stakeholders understood it, acknowledge it, right? And there should be a bi-directional approach that you are also listening to the stakeholders. Stakeholders are also given the opportunity to review the package, ask questions about the information, and raise any concern they may have. Now, you communicate it in three ways. The first one is the group collaboration, where you are involving different stakeholders together, where it allows the immediate discussion about the information related to the issues, and you are also expecting that the stakeholders would be giving you a feedback then and there. Individual collaboration, this is treated as a most productive and the best results, because there is no one to distract you, and your focus is properly your focus is very high at that time, with a single stakeholders obviously. So this is most productive. So it could be asked any question related to individual collaboration, right? So remember that one. Then email, other non-verbal methods. Email and other non-verbal methods are used when there is no need of the verbal communication, and verbal communication is not there to justify anything. So high maturity level of information is required that will need little or no verbal explanation to support it. So emails are or other non-verbal methods. Now, who are the stakeholders? Obviously, any stakeholders could be there whom you need to communicate the business analysis information, because you are juggling with a lot of information, and there are a lot of the stakeholders scattered around, and that you are working with, you are communicating information to and fro. But the important stakeholders from where you want the feedback, right? You want some acknowledgement. So these are end user. They should be aware of the relevant business analysis information, because they are the final user of that product that you are creating. Customer, they should be aware of the relevant business analysis information because they are paying you. Domain subject matter expert, and you remember this is the second hero, should know about the business analysis info to confirm elicitation results. If you remember in confirm elicitation, he is the one who is confirming the elicitation result. Implementation subject matter expert need to be aware of requirement and design implementation. Tester, obviously he would be doing the testing, so he would be creating the test scenarios, so he must know about the in relevant business analysis information for the requirement and design implementation and testing. Any stakeholders at some point during the change, it need to be communicated to all the stakeholders. Now the techniques. Well, there are three techniques. One is for individual. If you remember individual collaboration, for that you use interviews. When there is a group collaboration, you use reviews or the workshops. So interviews used to individually communicate the business analysis information to the stakeholders. In reviews used to provide stakeholders with an opportunity to express feedback, requirement adjustment in individual or in a group collaboration. Workshop used to provide stakeholders with an opportunity to express feedback, requirement adjustment, consensus, approvals during group collaboration. So that's it. That was very easy. We are done with the fourth activity of the elicitation and the collaboration knowledge area. So that's it from my end. I will connect you back in the next video, which will be our last activity in the elicitation and the collaboration knowledge area. So keep subscribing my channel and keep watching my videos, and I hope you like it. Thank you very much. Thanks.